All right. Now we have a three-part question. So the first part is about expanding verbal imitation. So this child is a 4-year-old nonverbal boy with autism. And after watching the stream last week, they were able to get the child to reliably make sounds like ba, me, and eh. So the first question here is, now that they have these three, can we go ahead and try to put them in like a single sound, like combining these monosyllable sounds into a multi-syllable sound? The short answer is yes, but it really depends on how much they are going to struggle at putting these things together. All right, so I think they can try it, but really gauge on how much they're going to push the child to do this, depending on how difficult the task is for the child. If it's too difficult right now, with verbal imitation, and especially as the sounds are starting to begin and starting to come in, what you like I said in the verbal imitation stream, you want to just create an environment that facilitates that verbal development, and you don't want to make things too difficult for the child that they get discouraged or they don't enjoy that process. And so you want to just take it nice and slow. Now, other than these three monosyllables, the rest are really hard for the child for them to imitate. And so the parent wants to know, like, oh, how should they proceed with that? So parents, what they really need to do is continue to encourage more sound production from their child for all of these other sounds. So they need to pay attention to them and heavily reinforce them so that they produce these sounds more and more often. Then I would work on the imitation of oral, facial movements, tongue movements, have exercises designed for this area of their face so that producing and making sounds gets easier for them to do. Now, the other thing is with any of these sounds that he can produce reliably, what you want to also take a look at is like, oh, are there anything that he'll likely request that shares this sound? And then you can also start to have him request things by making that sound for that particular item. Right. And then you're just going to continue to just create an environment that's really just conducive to the child wanting to produce language. So really encouraging them when they're making sounds, really like, oh, whatever they really love, whether it's tickles or whatnot, making sure that you're providing them contingent on them making those sounds.